Ito naman pong nauuso ngayon na Axie, Infinity at iba pang kahalintulad na plataforma. Nakapag-register na po ba sila sa SEC o may license na po ba sila to operate sa bansa?
Base po sa verification ng records po namin, no, they did not register po as a business dito sa SEC. Wala rin po silang secondary license, no, conduct regulated activity, meaning yung mga investment solicitation. Wala po silang lisensya for that. Pero, Sec Martin, if I may, no, to be clear lang, no, we're not saying na illegal po sila just because hindi sila nag-register. Kasi parehas po yan sa maraming mga ibang online entities na dito sa Pilipinas. No? We are studying them all. Yung mga similar na crypto, mga online platforms, yung mga play to earn, we're trying to determine their legal status under our current laws. No? So whether or not they are legal or illegal or need to register later on, that is something we still have to determine at the SEC. Pero while we're waiting for that determination po kasi, lumabas po kami ng advisory reminding everyone to be careful before you transact with yung mga ganun na entities. Kasi these are online entities but they are foreign registered, not registered here in the Philippines. So we are requesting the public to be more careful before they transact na yung mga ganito po.
Nabanggit po ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas na hindi pa kailangan magparehistro ng mga play-to-earn gaming platforms na ito at minomonitor nyo sila closely, pero it involves trading po of cryptocurrency. Wala po bang kahit anong jurisdiction dito ang SEC at BSP?
Well, meron po, no, Sec Martin, kasi when it comes to securities and digital assets, and digital assets like yung mga cryptocurrencies, they're considered a form of security. So, clear talaga under the jurisdiction ng SEC po yan, based on yung mga Howey test and the Securities Regulation Code. Pero siguro the question for us at the SEC, are these play-to-earn platforms really considered as digital assets or securities? Yun, hindi pa po clear kasi nga we're still studying it. No? And in relation to that, lalabas po sana ang SEC ng digital asset offering rules and digital asset exchange rules which will help work out yung mga jurisdictional issues pa nga. No? Actually, sa alam ko, maraming people are interested na nga in seeing those rules. So we're looking forward to issuing those rules para ma-stabilize po natin yung industry within the year po sana. As to the BSP pala, Sec Martin, whether or not they have jurisdiction, siguro I'll defer to them. Pero ang last meeting po namin, and I think yung announcement po nila before, they might be considered itong Axie as an operator of payment system. So might be under their jurisdiction. Pero siguro I'll defer to the BSP na po on that.
Walang SEC requirement ang ganitong mga laro. Paano po matutukoy ng ating mga kababayan kung lehitimo yung mga sinasalihan nila at ano-ano po yung risk na maaring mangyari sa pagsali nila sa mga ganitong uri ng gaming platforms?
Well, siguro to stay safe, Sec Martin, no, to find out if legitimate po ba mga to o hindi, yung mga online foreign platforms, ang suggestion ko po talaga is to do your due diligence. No? Yung mga public po, mag-aral, mag-research, i-check kayo, mag-check po kayo with the SEC. Yun ang tagline po namin, no? Check with check. No? Tingnan mo if registered nga ba sila with either the SEC or the BSP para malaman mo yung legitimacy nila. No? Kasi if they're registered, syempre, or may indications that they're registered, then bigger chance na legitimate siya, less likely na ma-scam ka or ma-risk yung mga hard-earned pera niyo po. No? But as to the risk, medyo marami nga yung risk if there's data privacy risk. You don't know what they'll do with your data, especially if they're not registered here in the Philippines. Yung pera niyo rin po, you don't know what will happen to yung pera niyo kung malalabas pa ba yan o hindi. One example, if I may, no, Checkmate, is kung narinig yung nangyari kay si Sir James Deacon, yung isang vlogger po yata no, na online. Pumasok po siya ng isang online foreign registered platform, tapos nagka-problema yata, muntik na hindi lumabas yung pera niya. More so, na naging pa yata, I think na zero pa nga yata yung account niya. No? Buti na lang naayos nila. But in that situation, medyo mahirap nga po for Mr. Deacon to try and seek legal recourse dito sa Pilipinas. If ever, he would have had to file a case sana wherever that company was registered abroad. No? So siguro I emphasize the point, be careful, mag-research po kayo bago kayo pumasok sa mga ganito po.
Sa ngayon, may mga existing protection po ba tayo para sa mga kababayan nating sumasali halimbawa sa mga cryptocurrency sites at play-to-earn gaming platforms?
Well, yung palagi po namin sinasabi, Sec Martin, is siguro you check with SEC, you determine whether or not it is registered with us, no? Kung registered kasi with the Philippines, then syempre you have the protections of Philippine law. No? And then you can file the appropriate cases. You can even file with the SEC or the BSP. And then try to seek return of your money, try to seek justice nga po. Pero kung foreign registered nga po kasi, yun na ang problema po natin, foreign registered, not registered in the Philippines, but they are supposedly operating here in the Philippines as an online platform, medyo marami po nga yung risk, no? And mas limited po yung protection in that situation kasi nga the entity isn't here in the Philippines. More than likely, it's technically operating in another country. So the best protection nga po talaga in that situation, financial literacy, no? Mag-aaral po kayo, do your research, do your due diligence bago po kayo pumasok sa mga ganitong industry.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong impormasyon, SEC Commissioner Kelvin Lee. Mabuhay po kayo, sir.
SEC advisory against dealing with non-registered foreign entities, organizations, and corporations. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, urges the public to be careful when dealing or transacting with corporations or entities that are not licensed or registered in the Philippines. The SEC has received numerous inquiries regarding the implications of transacting with non-registered foreign corporations and entities whose products or services are reachable in the Philippines through their website or online apps and platforms. By law, an entity is required to register and obtain a primary registration with the SEC if they intend to conduct business in the Philippines. A number of these unregistered corporations and entities allow Filipinos to access their online platforms and permit the enrollment, creation, or registration of client accounts through online means despite having no registration or license to do business in the Philippines. In some cases, Filipinos are even targeted by their aggressive online advertisements in various social media networking sites like Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. Such unregistered online platforms include, but are not limited to, the following. A. Foreign currency, forex, brokers and exchanges. B. Digital asset, cryptocurrency, virtual asset exchanges. C. Decentralized finance, DeFi, investment platforms. D. Yield farming, staking platforms. E. Multi-asset, multi-security brokerage companies. F. Websites for securities token offerings, token generation events. G. Illegal investment scheme websites. H. Binary options trading apps. I. Pay-to-click, CAPTCHA websites. J. Play-to-earn gaming platforms. K. Various fiat, cryptocurrency gambling websites. L. Various cryptocurrency-related investment websites. The public is reminded to be vigilant and to do their due diligence prior to transacting, dealing with any entity. The public is also advised to avoid transacting with corporations or entities without any registration or license to do business in the Philippines in order to avoid losing their earnings. If an entity or an activity is unlicensed or unregistered and is based abroad, you run the risk of not getting your money back once these are transmitted outside of the Philippines. However, should you still decide to transact with these entities and use their apps or platforms, the public is informed and advised of the following. A. Protection offered against registered corporations and entities. Dealing or transacting with registered domestic corporations or foreign corporations with registration to do business as a branch, regional operating, area headquarters or representative office within the Philippines assures domestic parties that they are duly protected by Philippine laws. In case of any future conflict with the corporation or entity arising out of breach of contractual obligations or in case of any fraud or misconduct committed by the registered foreign party which leads to criminal prosecution, parties may avail of remedies under Philippine laws by filing their claims or complaints with our local courts having jurisdiction over the same. B. Risks of putting your earnings in unregistered corporations and entities are their platforms. If you put your earnings in a platform which is reachable in the Philippines, but is operated by non-registered corporations or entities, the government can offer very limited protection or, in some cases, no protection from any harm, damage, fraud or any form of misconduct which may be caused or committed by these corporations or entities. Jurisdiction over fraud or any form of misconduct committed by these corporations falls under the jurisdiction of the foreign country where they operate. Domestic participants would have to go to the country where these platforms are registered and where they operate to file the appropriate complaint in order to seek redress. Always remember that in case of doubt as to whether or not it is safe to transact with an online platform or entity, always #check with SEC if the corporation or entity is registered or not. The SEC's website, www.sec.gov.ph, provides useful information on company registration, registration statements, secondary licenses, advisories, investor protection and investments. At the SEC, you may send your queries or concerns via email to the Philly FinTech Innovation Office at fintech@sec.gov.ph.